The entire royal city was shrouded in darkness. The night hung like an iron curtain, pressing down on every breath. The wind carried with it the scent of sand and blood as it swept through the empty streets, whispering softly, as though mourning the calamity that was about to come. Kale Desoria stood before the palace window, his distant gaze fixed on the horizon. The fires rising from the city walls and the distant echoes of war drums seemed to proclaim, without words, the massacre soon to unfold. The once glorious kingdom of Grinhart was now being torn apart by unseen forces. He took a deep breath, trying to banish the fear and unease in his heart. The last traces of dusk barely illuminated his handsome, yet tense face. Cal's fingers brushed against the hilt of the sword at his waist, his father's gift. A family heirloom known as Flame Shadow, a blade set to burn with the same fire that flowed through his veins. "Your Highness, the situation is dire," came a low voice from behind, shattering Cal's silence. Kale turned to see a weary old soldier, clad in black armor, standing by the doorway. It was Ethiel Stir, his father's most loyal guard, once a legendary warrior of Grinhart, now aged and wounded, forced to retreat from the battlefield. "What happened, Ethiel?" Kale asked, his voice trembling despite his efforts to stay calm. "Our defenses have been breached," Ethiel said grimly. "The armies of the Marcus Empire had broken through the eastern gates. The outer defenses of the royal palace are collapsing. Even the guards within the Great Hall have been assassinated. The situation is dire beyond measure." Cal's heart sank. It felt as if the world itself had crumbled around him. He could hardly believe that the kingdom he and his father had worked so hard to preserve could fall in a single night, like a sandcastle washed away by the tide. His father was a wise and cautious man, commanding the defense himself. How could everything go so wrong? "They struck from within," Ethiel continued, his voice heavy. "Most of the traitors were palace insiders, some even of your own blood." Kale froze. A chill ran through him. He knew that Emperor Carlton Hark of Marcus had long coveted Grinhart's lands and resources, but he never imagined betrayal would come from within. "Was it Uncle Marius?" Cal's voice was barely above a whisper. Ethiel lowered his head in silence before giving a slow, painful nod. "Lord Marius has been in league with Carlton for months. He turned the royal guards and officers against us. Even your brother, Prince Devanay, was part of the rebellion." Cal's pulse thundered in his ears. His own kin, his own brother, had betrayed their bloodline. The enormity of it made his breath catch. "And my father?" Kale asked, desperate. "Where is he?" "I am sorry, my prince," Ethiel said softly. His voice faltered. "Your father has fallen." The words struck like a thunderclap. Cal's knees buckled, and he sank onto the bed.